All right, the time is here. Muse, do we have the AC down in here? Like, do we have the temperature at a reasonable rate?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. If you want to go knock it, because I'm probably...
You're going to start sweating, aren't you?
I don't mean to. I don't come in here and try. It does. I don't ever... Look, do I have a note in here that says... Look at what I have in front of me. Do you have anything in here that says yell loud right now? Scone's going to rant and yell?
No. I don't. Mm-mm.
I got my rundown here. I got my live reads here.
Yeah.
I got my audio sheet here. I got a pen. Got my bottle of Evermore.
An essential.
Bud Light.
Another
bottles.
essential.
I got my laptop here. I just know when I start talking about this, how this is going to go. So, yesterday, we talked about the Devon Vele trade. Saints made a trade with Denver to acquire Devon Vele, who is a 6'5" receiver who I'm good with. Like, you don't have a big-bodied receiver. So, you got a bunch of dudes that are 5'10", 5'11". You went and got a 6'5" receiver. You gave up this year's 4th-round pick and next year's 7th-round pick to get Devon Vele. 27 years old, just finished his first, going into his second year in the league from Utah. So he's a LDS, went on his LDS mission. So he's a 27-year-old second-year player. And totally good with the player. 41 catches a year ago, big-bodied receiver, still a young professional, was on his rookie deal. All that I'm good with. And you gave up a 4 and a 7 for him. And I look and I go, yeah, look, a lot of the Saints 4s over the year, they use the 4th-round pick a lot as trade bait. They really only make a 4th-round pick like every other year. And when they have made it, there's an awful lot of like Rick Leonard and Kyrie Fort in there, Ian Book. They've popped a Jermon Bushrod and a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson about like once a decade. I'm excited about this year's 4th-rounders, Danny Stutzman and Quincy Riley. But for the most part, that's been at best a coin flip proposition with your 4th-round pick. So you got a guy that's already a proven NFL player, a bit okay. And then I looked at what happened today. You're all familiar with Brian Robinson, yes? Brian Robinson, running back from Alabama, drafted by the 49ers. I'm sorry, drafted by the Commanders. Very scary situation that shortly after being drafted, he was shot. Overcame that to be ready to play his rookie season in Washington. And in 3 years in Washington, he's played in 41 games. He's rushed for over 2,300 yards. As a rookie, he ran for 797, then 733. Last year, 799. He's been an incredibly consistent running back in the NFL. And today, the Washington Commanders traded Brian Robinson, who's entering the final year of his rookie contract. They traded Brian Robinson to the San Francisco 49ers for a 6th-round pick. Yo, Gumsmack and Mick got fleeced again by Sean Payton. Like, the New Orleans Saints traded two picks, a 4 and a 7, for a 27-year-old former 7th-round pick who caught 41 passes a year ago. At best, your number 3 receiver. You traded 2 picks, a 4 and a 7, for what is at best going to be your number 3 receiver behind Olave and Shaheed. Might be your number 4, depending on how Cooks does this year. Maybe even your 5th best pass catcher, depending on Juwan Johnson, or 6, depending on Alvin Kamara. 2 picks for a franchise that is hitting the reset button and needs to get younger and less expensive. And I wasn't blowing a gasket a day ago. I wasn't blowing a gasket because I understood what the Saints have done historically with their 4th-round picks. And then I start connecting the dots when I see this and I go, you know what? The reason the Saints only make a 4th-round selection every other year, and the reason they've whiffed on 4th-round picks for the last 2 decades, is because of Gumsmack and Mick. You got the worst GM in the NFL. And then I got to sit here and open this up today and see Brian Robinson, who's like a legit number 1 back in the NFL. I'm not saying he's Adrian Peterson. I'm not saying he's prime Derrick Henry. But he's a legit number 1 running back. And we just saw the Commanders send a legit number 1 running back to San Francisco for a 6th-round pick. When you got, at best, your number 3 receiver for 2 picks, a 4 and a 7. The complete and total disrespect of the draft and the ability to build through the draft is what has crippled this team. The fact that you used a 2nd-round pick on Isaiah Foskey, the fact that you whiffed on Marcus Davenport and Peyton Turner, the fact that Trevor Penning now is playing his 3rd different position on the offensive line, the fact that you draft Taliesin Fuaga and after 1 year you move him to the other side of the line, the fact that Cesar Ruiz, a former 1st-round pick, sucks as a starting right guard, the fact that Brian Brzee was a 1st-round pick and is silent, this is why you suck. This is why you are what you are. You don't respect the amount of draft picks you have, and when you do make him, largely you whiff. I, after 2017, was willing to give the New Orleans Saints the benefit of the doubt because when you have a draft like that, you go, maybe they know what they're doing. But since then, it's been a turd in the punch bowl. And this is another example of Gumsmack and Mick not having a clue. Let me ask you, Saints fan, going into a season where you've got a 30-plus-year-old running back, and after him, Kendre Miller, who you used a 3rd-round pick on, who hasn't proven he could be a consistent NFL player, and you're hoping and praying that a 6th-round pick like Devin Neal or an undrafted free agent like Velus Jones or veterans like Clyde or Cam Akers could hang on and give you some value. Would you rather Brian Robinson over any of those guys? And if you answer anything other than a resounding yes, you are lying. What if I told you give up a 6th-round pick and get Brian Robinson? 26-year-old. You realize Brian Robinson, 3 years into the NFL, is 26 years old. The guy you gave up a 4 and a 7 for is a year older than him. I'm excited that the New Orleans Saints are starting their rebuild. I'm excited that we're going to see a new era that hopefully will start to move this organization forward and back toward being a championship contender. But I am not excited that Gumsmack and Mick is the guy at the forefront making these decisions, because this is another example. If we lulled ourselves into some type of belief that maybe, just maybe, a trade for Devon Vele where you give up a 4 and a 7 made sense, and a day later, you see the Commanders send Brian Robinson to San Francisco for a 6th-round pick, you go, we overpaid. Yeah, you did. You paid a premium for a 1972 Pinto that runs on diesel. I didn't yell too much. I'm not even sweating.
No, you controlled yourself very well there. Right in the middle, when you first brought up Mick, I thought it was going off the rails, but you held it together really well.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.